everybody, this is Bob from Buckeye Sports Center. I'm really excited today to take a look at the all-new Heyday H22. This is a premium value wake boat. So one of the things I'm always impressed by when I've been around this industry for many, many years, and when typically we see innovation on the high end, all right? And then, we don't see a ton of innovation on the value segment. So whenever I see a boat where it's clear innovation happening in the value segment or in the lower price tier of the category, I'm very, very impressed. And this Heyday H22 is probably, the epitome of that example, because we're going to see a lot of new innovative features that we don't find even on the highest end boat. But this is going to be in that category of the Wake series for an inboard boat. One of the least expensive boats on the market. As we've been in this boat, demos and different things, we're really impressed by it and how it's able to do a lot of the things that the bigger boats do without a lot of the technology that the bigger boats have. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is the bow area. We're going to see a nice wide bow area. When we get inside, it's going to be one of the largest bows you're going to see on a 22-foot boat. It's almost deck style as far as the bow goes, but we have a nice deep V entry point. So if you do get some minor chop, you're going to run through it really well, even though this is an inboard boat. Stainless steel rub rail. You'll see stainless steel throughout the boat with grab handles and cleats and things like that. We'll also see just how deep, massive the side of this boat is. One of the key Heyday features is how deep the boat is, how comfortable it feels in the inside, to keep everybody comfortable. And there's also actually a wake forming element that's important to that we'll talk about here in a minute. So how does the wake form on this Heyday? We've talked about this in other Heyday videos, but Heyday's come up with a system in their hull, the integrated wake system. So they don't need a bunch of tabs and different things in order to create the wave. So what they've done is, you'll notice that the angle of this transom actually slopes down. I think it's about 117 degrees as opposed to a normal kind of 90-degree slant down that you'll normally find on boats. And what that's going to allow is that wave is going to start forming underneath the boat and actually be able to release from the hull and start building that wave up a little earlier than most other brands. And it makes it so you don't have to have a bunch of things maneuvering and messing the boat with tabs and different things like that. So the other thing that you'll see is this is kind of a soft curl here. It's not like a hard, sharp edge, and that allows it so that if a sharper edge will basically inhibit the water from flowing and will kind of make the wake hard to produce. But this, by having a softer edge there, that's allowing that wave to now form. We also see with the platform kind of cutting in on this side here, we don't see the platform kind of jar out like here. That wave is starting to develop right here, and it's kind of away from the platform so that the platform's not inhibiting the wave either. So you combine that with the relatively flat transom area. That flat transom area is going to make the boat very solid from side to side. Some of the boats out there from other brands that are more deep V oriented, they do help create a surf wave by leaning the boat to one side or the other. However, the minute that you want a wakeboard or whatever, you've got a very, very touchy side-to-side movement. Somebody could literally move from 1 foot in the boat this way, and the boat's so touchy that wave will actually not be as clean for wakeboarding or other sports just because of that movement. But with Heyday, by having that hull design the way it is, now we're able to not necessarily have one person moved in the boat one direction or the other isn't going to make a huge difference, which is good. You don't have to sit there and manipulate or try it for a half hour to try to make the wave work. So again, that's a key integrated wake system from Heyday. We do see on this particular model an elevator plate, so we do have a little bit of fine-tune adjustment, but it's not going to make or break a huge difference on this boat. Very simple setup. So the transom of this Heyday H22, this is kind of that innovation I was talking about. This is super cool, guys. I mean, this is a really cool seat. Because the transom of the boat kind of flows around to the back here, this is a new seat, it's innovative, it's not been out there in the marketplace, but I would consider this to be a legal seat while underway. Obviously, check with your state, local law enforcement to see what they think, but we've got grab handles, we've got things to hold on to. The hull of the boat continues around the transom, so I think this is a seat that's good to go watching your surfer, your buddy in the back. So this is pretty cool, having this seat back here. The other cool thing about it is that when you're not sitting here riding, as we look on the other side, we can kind of create like a little mini sun pad out of it. So you want to lay out, get a little bit of a tan, that we can do that. You know, there's different areas to put my feet. The other cool thing is, because we talked about how high the transom of the boat is, we literally have almost a three-step entry into the boat itself, you know, so that nobody's kind of, you know, having to step up really high or tall. So it's a really easy boat to board, you know, from the, you know, whether you're boarding from the transom or you're going from the cockpit into the transom to get booted up and ready to ride. So we're now in the cockpit of the H22, and you know, those of you who have been in other inboard boats before, I mean, there's nothing about this boat that doesn't feel like a 24-foot boat in my opinion. It just feels, this cockpit feels huge for a 22-footer. I'm super deep inside of it. I've got upholstery wrapped all the way around so I can sit at whatever angle I want. You know, cup holders, speakers. You know, we see, again, this is a more value-oriented boat, but we're looking at 3 different tones of upholstery color. We also see some stitching and things like that, so the upholstery is actually really nice for a boat like this. You know, so overall, the super roomy big cockpit. We do see the swivel board racks are included on this particular boat. All right, easy to maneuver, same thing you'd find on a premium level boat. This particular boat's set up with a really cool new tower from Heyday for this year. Rockford Fosgate stereo. This particular model that we're sitting in does have a lot of upgrades, but even with all the upgrades, at least at the current pricing level, you're looking at a boat that's going to sell for, you know, probably at most dealers under $100,000. So, you know, I could see this boat from other brands being $150,000 or $180,000. So, so it's very, just a ton of value here. Bimini top that's included as well as part of the wake pack, you know, wakeboard tower. So overall, just a ton of space, a ton of room here. Again, I can sit facing backwards here. I'm 6'2" and I've got plenty enough space to stretch out my legs. The other cool thing is, with this versatile seat, this seat actually does slide, and I can move the backrest and face it the other direction and actually slide this seat and actually have another set of seats just looking backwards. So another cool little thing, this little seat here kind of kicks up. So again, more rear facing observers if you want to. So again, little innovation things, you know, give somebody here a little bit of leg room that you normally won't find on a boat like this. So again, more innovation, little cool features, again, in a value-oriented boat. So with the engine box here with the Merc Cruiser 6.2 liter 370 horsepower engine is a standard engine. That's the high output for Mercury. One of the reasons, again, that drives costs down a little bit is that Heyday is a Brunswick-owned brand. So we're going to see that Mercury is one of the brands, you know, to keep the cost down. We've got the Merc Cruiser engine in here, you know, because it's owned by the same company, which is always nice. So, you know, Brunswick is the same company that owns Mercury, Merc Cruiser, you know, brands like Sea Ray, Boston Whaler, so a lot of premium level brands in the industry. And because of the way that they engineered this boat, you know, we see nice sound deadening, vibration. Also, they kind of compact it right in here, so we do get that nice step down effect out of the transom, which is really cool. So, you know, but it's still easy to work on, easy to get to everything you need, filters and other things like that. So as we get into the Helm area of the H22, this is very reminiscent of some pretty premium brands, the way this dash is set up. Your dash controls and your engine controls and some of your speed controls are all integrated in here to the right-hand side with the Simrad digital screen. We also see, instead of toggle switches, we have nice push-button switches that are a little bit more premium feature. Your stereo control, Rockford Fosgate with Bluetooth, is located on the left-hand side. Plenty of room to, you know, with shade to throw your cell phone. You know, USB chargers. You know, other little storage compartments. Nice armrest here, which I think is very key for a wake boat, as the driver is going to be, you know, up here all the time, kind of towing all day. Needs a nice comfortable spot for his arm. And remember, this is going to be an inboard engine, so the shifting and the throttle is usually a little bit smoother than like an IO. Again, this is a true V8 inboard engine. That's another thing to remember with Heyday. You know, we're not trying to maneuver and make an IO into a wake boat, or we're not taking a jet configuration and trying to maneuver it into a wake boat. This is a true inboard boat, just like your Nautiques and your Malibus and your other premium level boats. So other cool things, we've got the little bolster, so if you want a little bit more visibility, that's included here. Adjustable wheel, and then easy control for your trim tab right here along the dash as well. So as we're going to move our way up toward the bow, we're going to see obviously storage underneath all the seats. You know, there's a big storage compartment under here where we've got the cover stored right now. You can access that from the port side flip, just like I did here, as well as, you know, through this storage compartment here. All right, so you can access it either way. The other thing is this boat, I believe, has 4 actual ballast tanks in it. So, and they're leaned on the left-hand side and the right-hand side. So rather than having 2, I think we're going to go to 4 on this boat. So it's a little easier and quicker to fill them. And Heyday uses tanks as opposed to bags. So the maintenance on them should be very limited. You know, the hard tanks are usually a little bit more reliable. Also, it should fill quicker because we're looking at 4 instead of 2. And then we're also going to see that those are located underneath the floor. All right, so they're kind of out of sight, out of mind. So they're kind of built into the cavities of the structure of the boat. So we don't lose storage space because we have the tanks. All right, so that's another cool thing that they have. And then we talked about it earlier, the bow. Again, this bow rivals, you know, some, you know, really, you know, 24-foot boats, you know, easily, you know, 3 people all spread out up here. You know, this boat's rated, I believe, for up to 14 people. So, you know, you can get, you know, easily 14 people in this boat. But, you know, this filler cushion here is an option. You can take it out if you want. Nice little armrest flip downs. Again, normally something you'd find on a premium boat, just to give you a little extra. Overall, you know, just really cool setup. Again, cup holders, USB chargers located throughout, so it's a modern design. This particular boat, again, we talked about the upgraded sound package. You can see the subwoofer there, right by where the driver is. So I can sit facing backwards. I've got padding all the way around here. So again, just a ton of space in this 22-footer from Heyday. In closing, thanks for watching this H22 video with us at Buckeye Sports Center. All the characteristics that I talked about on the hull configuration, how the wake was formed, that's pretty much the case throughout the other 2 Heyday models. So the WT Surf and the WT2 DC. Both of those carry that same wake forming characteristic. So if you can't find an H22, but you can find one of the other models, you're going to get a good wake from that one as well. So more information, visit our website, buckeyesportscenter.com. Subscribe to our YouTube page where we post videos like this for Heyday, along with 14 other brands, including 5 total inboard towboat lines. So thanks for watching and have a great day on the water.